We're all fans of the Men in Black series, right? To cool gadgets, space adventures, friendly aliens, and everyone's favorite, time travel. Every one of us wishes to travel in time one day. Each one of us must have hoped at least once in our lifetime to go back to our own younger self and help ourselves to top that damn school test. So welcome back to our channel, and today we will discuss whether or not time travel is a thing. Coming back to reality, we travel around the sun in 1 year between our birthdays. In short, travel in space constantly every day and every year. Also, we are all continuously traveling in time at approximately the same speed every time. But is time travel actually possible? If yes, they will be able to travel back and forward into time according to our convenience. NASA has come up with a really cool space telescope that gives us a way to look back into time. Telescopes are devices that help us to see stars and galaxies that are very far away from us. But it takes a very long time for the light from those faraway galaxies to reach us. So, when we look into the sky through a telescope, we are actually seeing what those stars and galaxies looked like a very long time ago. However, when we listen to the phrase time travel, we usually think of traveling faster, like light speed. That's the basic imagination we all get about time travel. You know, just traveling in a wink of an eye with light speed. This kind of time travel sounds familiar, like something we only see in movies or science fiction books. But could it be real? Well, science says yes. How do we know whether it's possible or not? Well, 100 years ago, a well-known scientist named Albert Einstein came up with a genius idea about how time works. He termed it relativity. This theory says that time and space are interlinked. He also said that our universe has a speed limit. Nothing can travel faster in the universe than the speed of light, which is 186,000 miles per second. So what does this mean to time travel? According to his theory of relativity, the faster one travels, the slower he or she experiences time. Scientists have done a few experiments to prove that this is true. There was an experiment conducted that used two different clocks set to the exact same time. One stayed on Earth, while the other flew in an airplane going in the direction which Earth rotates. After the plane flew across the world, scientists compared the time of the two clocks. The clock on the moving airplane was slightly behind the clock on Earth. So the clock on the airplane was ticking slightly slower in time than the one on the ground. This experiment proved that clocks traveled through time. Can we travel through time every day? No, we cannot use a time machine to travel hundreds of years into the past or future in a snap of time. That kind of time travel only exists in books, movies, and fantasies. But in reality, the math of time travel affects the things we use daily. For example, we use GPS satellites to figure out how to get to new places. Scientists at NASA also use a highly accurate version of GPS to keep track of where the satellites are in space. But did you know that this GPS relies on calculations of time to help you get around town, showing your accurate location and time? The GPS satellites orbit around the Earth very quickly at about 14,000 kilometers per hour. This slows down the clocks on the GPS satellite by a small fraction of a second, similar to the airplane example mentioned. However, the satellites themselves are also orbiting around Earth around 20,200 kilometers above the Earth's surface. Thus, they have to speed up their GPS satellite clocks by a slightly larger fraction of a second. Here's how Einstein's theory also says that gravity bends space and time, causing the flow of time to slow down. High up in the sky, where the orbit of the sunlight, Earth's gravity is much weaker there. It causes the clocks on the GPS satellites up there to run faster than the clocks on the ground. The result is that the clocks on the GPS satellites experience time at a rate slightly faster than the clocks on Earth. Luckily, scientists use this math to correct the differences in time. If scientists could not correct the GPS clocks, there would be major problems. GPS satellites would not be able to calculate their position or yours correctly. The errors would add up to a few miles every day, which is a big deal. GPS maps would not be able to find your home. Long story short, yes, indeed, time travel is a real thing, but it's not that quiet piece of cake that we have probably seen in movies. Under certain conditions, it may be possible to experience time passing at a different rate than usual. And there are other important reasons too why we need to understand this fantasy world time travel is not practiced. As a fellow under an apple tree once said, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Similarly, time travel would have its other consequences. A change in the past may completely change the present. Also, starting time travel for people according to their convenience may take a hell of a lot of time. So that's all for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe to our channel to never miss a video. Also, let us know your thoughts about the video in the comments section.